Story of the Lion and the Antelope goes like this. When we see animals hunting, we see some of the most intense things in life that exist, and it's survival at its highest, right? And so we use the analogy of the lion and the antelope because it was a story that I had first heard from a guy by the name of Marcus Rogan, who used this analogy with a talk on psychology and working with autistic kids. And you know, it had a profound impact on me because when you look at these two animals, when the lion is actually hunting the antelope, and through the engagement of this process and even through the attack, and when the lion will take off, or whatever animal takes off after the prey, if we were to look at these animals on a physiological level, there's no difference in either of them. But the difference that does exist is that one of them wants to be there and one of them does not. And that lion does want to be there because he's hungry and he needs to eat. And that antelope does not want to be there because he doesn't want to get eaten. And he realizes he's in a very, very tough situation, right? Thus, he wants to get away, or she wants to get away. When we look at the end result of that, regardless of how it ends, and let's just use this story as the antelope got away this time, because that's by and large what happens most of the time. Both animals within seconds, maybe a minute, are normal, or they drop back down into a very calm place. The lion will give up really quickly, change its demeanor, change its state. The antelope does the same. Once it gets away, it moves back to the herd or goes back and starts grazing. The lion will even lay back down, and they go back to what they do normally throughout their 20-something hours a day, which is mostly sleeping to a large degree for the lion and grazing for the antelope. The difference between humans and animals is we continue to turn it on, and we continue to keep it heightened, and we want to talk about what's going on, and there's no reason why we can't talk about it, but to the point that we're beating a dead horse with something. And it's an over and over and a repeated thing that keeps us in these heightened arousal states that inevitably wreak more havoc because we're keeping ourselves in these survival, states throughout the day, whether it's work, whether it's life, whether it's whatever. We go from training or working out to help ourselves feel better, get our physiology working more efficiently, to I'm going to work and I'm going to stress myself out about this report or whatever I've got to do. My kids, they're driving me bonkers, versus using things or tricks in order to get ourselves to kind of shift down and calm down more and not have to be in these heightened states. And I'm not saying not to think about these things or not deal with a lot of the things that are going on in your life. I'm actually indicating we should be. But to shift that state quickly and calm down after a stressful moment is pretty much the difference between us and them. And they tend to live much more qualitative lives to a large degree in terms of being calm or being on, right? Being calm or being on. And we should be able to do that too, as we're a part of the same system.